Well, hello, good morning. Live on LinkedIn this morning. So this week's theme, this week's sort of LinkedIn post theme for me, the things that I'm posting this week is what's the best advice you've ever received? That's kind of where we're heading today and over the course of this week. And, for me, one of the best pieces of advice that I received was from several people actually, and I'll come on to those in a moment. But a friend of mine was, I was talking to him about this the other day, and asking him, well, what was the best advice you ever had? And he said, for him, it was if someone is pushing you to make an on-the-spot decision that you just don't feel comfortable with, and requires some greater thought, if you like, then if you want to answer right now, then the answer ought to be no, because actually, if you make a yes when you're hesitant, then that's going to be harder to reverse later. And if they can't wait, then give them a no, because you can always change your mind a little bit later. If you don't feel that that was the right response, you can always change your mind. But it's harder to say no if you've said yes, right? And I thought that was really good advice. And in fact, for him, it was saying, look, it's better to say no than to say yes. And because then, you just let somebody else down, don't you, later? Or you let yourself down, more importantly, I suppose. So, that was kind of a powerful example for me of, some really good advice. And another friend of mine, she said that if your back's up against the wall, folks, financially, and your cash flow is in danger, at that very point, don't spend to get out of trouble. I've done it myself, actually, and she's absolutely spot on here. Better times will come, and then that's the right time to invest your money. Because, for her, it was said, look, this is like betting all of your last money on black, right? You just don't do it at the casino because you're bound to lose. And I just thought that was quite a profound example, actually. I'm just checking to see if I can see the live as we're going along. Yep, here's the live comments now. So I'm just talking up on live, just turn the volume down here. So hello wherever you are and wherever you're listening from, whether whether it's in the UK or in Europe or other parts of the world. America hasn't woken up yet, so I guess they're all asleep right now. But great to see you on live. We're talking this morning about what's the best advice you've ever received. And I've given a couple of examples already from friends of mine. And I want to give sort of three personal examples now. And, if you've got comments, folks, for you guys listening right now, guys and ladies and gentlemen listening, please pop some comments into the feed. I know there's a slight delay before I get them, but it'll be useful to get some interaction going. What's the best advice you've ever received? And for me, some of that best advice, I've got three actually. Three best advices, if I can. Advices. The first is about purpose, and I got this when I was still very young. I was a teenager at the time, actually, and I was at college. I didn't do too well at school, so I had to catch up, went to technical college, and there was a very special lecturer there, and I don't know whether you've ever come across these. There's always a special teacher, isn't there, in our lives, or at least I hope there is for you. There certainly was for me, and his name was Mr. Foster. And, I played up in his class like mad, and I remember him one day dragging me out of the class, kicking and screaming by my lapels. You could do that in those days. It was the 80s, baby. And, he smashed me against the wall and then got his big chalky finger, because no computers in those days, it was all chalkboards, and he's prodding me in the chest, kind of saying, look, why are you messing about in my class? Because, Andrew, you can do so much better. And then started to change tune, still while he's prodding me in the chest, by the way. And he kind of said to me, look, Andrew, if you apply yourself, if you work hard, if you, really centre yourself on your studies, you could get to university. And, I know you've said to me before in the past that not many people got to university in your school year, which is dead right. And I think in the end, when I did go to university 3 years later, I was probably the one of less than a handful of people in my school that went to university that year. It was a bad year, right? So I was really proud of that. And the interesting thing is that the advice he gave me was work hard, apply yourself and don't let yourself down. I know that's 3 pieces of advice, but they were centered around studying. Study hard and get somewhere. And you know what? I thought that was brilliant advice. And what that generalized for me, and I don't know what's coming on for you at the moment, but what that generalized for me was the advice was all around, look, you can make a difference in your life if you set goals. And for me, I found a really useful thing, an advice from him was, around this whole thing about goal setting. And my advice to anybody who's younger than me, if I'm mentoring younger people, is look, set yourself 3-year goals. Because they really do work. 3-year goals, 5-year goals, 2-year goals, but set yourself goals. For me, 3-year goals work really well. That kind of cycle fits in. It's kind of natural cycle, really, that 3 years kind of fits in really, really well. And, after that, I've always set, so after Mr. Foster's advice to me, I've always set 3-year cycle ambitious goals. That's worked for me incredibly. And I've achieved an awful lot through setting, 3-year goal cycles. So, thanks to Mr. Foster for that advice. And, I'm just thinking forward in a couple of weeks, we've got David Heiner, who's an expert on setting massive goals. He's in our Inspired CEOs Game Changer conversation. He's a guest of ours on the Inspired CEOs Game Changer conversation that we have, where I co-found a group of CEOs online every Thursday and Friday, called the Inspired CEOs. The names, the what it does is in the name. And in 2 weeks, we've got David Heiner talking to us about setting massive goals and the small steps to get there. And if you're a CEO or a business leader of an SME, a small to medium-sized enterprise, you work with people, you've got people in your team, come and talk to me about the benefits of joining that community and listen to David in a couple of weeks. I'll be doing a trailer on that a little bit later next week, hopefully, on this very subject, so you can watch that trailer and see if it whets your appetite, folks. So for me, secondly, my second piece of advice that really sticks in my mind as being memorable was from a colleague of mine. And this was at the identity level and the belief level. And she said to me, she was a fellow presenter, actually, and she said to me, look, Andrew, you've really got to believe that people like you. Because when you do that, things change. Because I was running a program of, maybe people don't like me and I have to try hard to get people to like me. This is when I'm an adult, for God's sakes. I thought I got over all those things as a kid, but it's funny how they leak out when you're, doing important stuff in life, right? And she just said, look, if you believe, and even if you just have to act and pretend to believe that people like you, then things change. And, boy, was she right, and that subtle difference of just acting as if people liked me changed the way I presented, because it took the pressure off me, right? It took the pressure of me to perform it. And it was really in my blind spot, this one, folks. And some of the advice we get is from people that care about you, that, they give you that special advice that is completely out of your consciousness. You're just not aware of it, in our blind spot. And a few weeks ago, I talked about the Johari window as one of my posts. I'll put a link into that after I finish this conversation. I'll put a link in the comments field, or in the body of the post itself, because this whole thing about people giving us advice in our blind spot is really, really powerful, and we can do the same to other people as well, folks. And what my colleague did and helped me in sort of believing that people like me is that she helped me to present by being at my very, very best version of me. And that was 15 years ago, and I've never forgotten that, because when you believe that people don't like you, there's a heck of a lot of your mental bandwidth that's consumed in actually holding that belief, right? So when you let it go and you just believe that people like you, then you can spend your bandwidth, concerned about your content, for example. You've got more available bandwidth to do what you're doing and get the presentation right and think about the content and what you're going to say, and all of those things really helped me. And it moved me away from worry and anxiety. And both really powerful pieces of advice that I had. And my third one, this was given to me over 20 years ago by a brilliant boss. And, you know, in life, we all get good bosses and bad bosses, right? And this was one of probably the very best boss I've ever had. And I was working at 3i at the time. And, you know, my boss said, you know, you're brilliant at getting what you want, Andrew, you know, and you always get what you want. And yet I've noticed, Andrew, that, you know, because you can do that so well, you don't have to yank your goals into reality. You don't have to predict every twist and turn of shaping your outcomes, because in a meeting, Andrew, rather than having a predicted outcome that you are channeling people down and kind of shunting them along into your way of thinking, right? You know, he said, why don't, you know, because you're good at this anyway, you don't need to do that, Andrew. You know, even better if you just let the outcome unfold in front of you and let go of the control that you feel that you must have. Let the outcome unfold in front of you. And you know what? That piece of advice has really centered my my approach to working, you know, with other people, particularly, you know, working with people in meetings, trying to come to a collaborative outcome. It is so much better if you don't force your opinion on other people. That you, part of collaboration is we allow different views to form. And it might be that you have a view and one of your colleagues has a view and somebody else has a view, and together you nurture out the very best response that you need to make that goal work really, really well, or that outcome to work incredibly well. And it's usually a combination of several people's thoughts, you know, that make the goal work even more better, as it were. I know that doesn't make grammatical sense. I just like that saying. And so there's three pieces of advice that I've been given that have really worked well for me in my working career. And I wonder, you know, how about you guys? You know, what is it that has helped you, ladies and gentlemen? You know, what advice have you had that has really helped you to move forward and that you always remember? And one of the things about these kind of memories, and I don't know whether it's the same for you, but, you know, what I find is that if someone has given you that advice, then you can pass that advice forward to somebody else to shape their lives. And I just find that absolutely amazing, that when we get genuine advice from people that's genuine, that's heartfelt, that is caring, that is an absolute game changer. You know, and those game-changing moments not only affect your life, but the life of your family as well, right? You know, because your circumstances change, and that means the circumstances of your family change. But the other thing that comes with that, I feel, is, you know, and I encourage you to do this, is that sense of responsibility to kind of pass that message on to others. Because it's not just for you. You know, those pearls of wisdom, those special moments in time that shaped our lives, that, you know, we were able to reinvent ourselves or change a circumstance because of something that somebody said to us. These are the game-changing moments for all of us. And that the gift that we can give is to carry on that gift and give the same gift that you were given and pass it on to somebody else. Because then you shape their lives and you help them to shape. And so the gift goes on. And it keeps on giving, folks. I just really love that, you know, these special advices that we get from people, they keep on giving and giving and giving, not only in our lives, but the lives of our families and the lives of our colleagues and the lives of our, you know, team members, but also the lives of other people that we meet in life and, you know, share the same walk for a short period of time maybe with you. So think about that as well. So that's my advice for today, folks. And, you know, please put it in the comments. You know, what have been the game-changing moments for you? The piece of advice that's most stuck in your mind, that you have implemented over and over and over again, that stay with you. Share those, folks, because by sharing them here, we can give other people those gifts. So please put your your own thoughts and comments in the comments field, and let's keep this thread going. So I'll be posting again this week on this theme as well, so watch out for more posts this week. Please, if you are a CEO of a small business or a business owner, you've got team members, please come and speak to me, contact me about the Inspired CEOs, because I think you'll find it incredibly beneficial to you and your business and to help you move forward. Because what we do in the Inspired CEOs is we do game-changing moments. That's what it's all about. We help to inspire you, that changes you from the inside out, that then enables you to achieve the goals that you want to in your business life, not just for you, but for your colleagues as well, for the people that work for you and your families and their families. And so the gift keeps on giving, right? So same thing in the Inspired CEOs. So please contact me about that, and I would love to tell you a little bit more. So for now, cheers. Have a great day wherever you are, or a great afternoon or evening, wherever you are. Yeah, and Claire Milverton, thanks, Claire. Timing is everything, says Claire. Yeah, and timing that you're on this morning is probably what you mean by that. Timing is everything. And that's a great piece of advice as well, isn't it? Having that right time. And they say the great gift of comedy, Claire, is timing, right? But not only that, there's a serious thing about timing too. So Claire's advice to us all is timing is absolutely everything. So thanks for that, Claire, and thanks for popping in your comments here. I know there's a bit of a delay in the comments feed, so please pop your comments in later. Claire, brilliant to see you online. Look, Claire, if you want to chat to me about Inspired CEOs, I know I've emailed you over that and sent you event information, so please carry on, let me inspire you, Claire. Anyway, that's enough for me. So have a great day wherever you are. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a great evening. And the weather in the UK is phenomenal right now, so I'm going to go out and enjoy a little bit of sunshine for a moment or two. Cheers for now. Bye.